Is it humanly possible to have gone through a divorce, move to a new country with no money, be a single parent of 3 children while the world was closing down during the pandemic, and start 2 businesses and grow them to continuous success through and through? All of that in today's video. Hey guys, my name's Yahya, founder and creator of Record Breaker, where I help people like you break past your financial money records in the shortest amount of time by unleashing the power of your mind. And in today's video, I have a very special interview lined up for you. It is with one of my clients named Regina. Now, Regina's story may not be a typical one, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate. She'd gone through a divorce, moved halfway across the world to a brand new country where she didn't know anybody, she had no money, and she had 3 children to raise. This resulted in chronic panic attacks, nervousness, anxiety, fatigue, brain fog, and all the things that come in a situation like this one. However, she managed to not only just repair everything that she had been through, but she grew and she grew and she grew and she grew until she was a thriving businesswoman. And today she runs 3 businesses, 2 of which she actually grew during the pandemic. And now she's got a 3rd one where she's got government funding to launch her own startup. Her story is unique, but it's very relatable in the sense that most of us oftentimes go through some life-altering situations, some circumstances that beat us to the ground. And then we wonder if we're ever going to be the same again. We wonder if we will ever have what we used to have. We wonder if life will ever turn out well for us. And then we get lost in wonderment, and we're basically spending every day living day to day, scraping through the day. That was her. She couldn't drive a car for more than 10 minutes without breaking down. She was worried what was going to happen with her kids. It was a financial disaster for her because she didn't have support or funding or anything from her family or friends. Yet, she completely turned the situation around and she started growing and doing well. And she had all sorts of issues. She doesn't have a thyroid gland, so she needed medication. And because of that, she was constantly working out to stay in shape, but losing weight was hard for her. She turned her relationship with cortisol and insulin completely upside down. Instead of a ton of cortisol flooding her system because of the stress, she flipped it where she didn't have the cortisol. So today she's lost weight without exercising, just eating clean. She was emotionally and physically burned out. She couldn't enjoy herself. Today she has beautiful, wonderful, thriving relationships. Counseling and spiritual work had failed her. She had chronic anxiety, horrible sleep. Today she's full of energy, more so than ever. She has less toxicity in her life today. Even her ex-husband has completely changed the way he behaves with her and the way he takes charge of the children. She doesn't have to prove herself to people anymore. She feels 15 years younger because of the way she looks, the energy she has, but most importantly, because of the way she feels. And these are all very relevant and very important things for today's men and women to consider. It's because life will often throw one thing after another. They always say bad things come in pairs of 3. I don't know if 3 is a pair, but they come in pairs of 3 or groups of 3. She had more than 3. She had like 6 or 9. And she completely, systematically, sequentially dismantled all the negative stuff in her life. And that's what the interview is all about. I want to share this with you because there's a lot of learnings. And quite frankly, if she can do it, so can you. Enjoy the interview. Hello and welcome everybody to Stress to Success. My name is Yahya. Today I'm super happy, super excited to share with you an incredible guest. She's made huge, dramatic changes in her entire life. And she's made changes in the 3 biggest areas that we all tend to have challenges in. What are they? The first one, health. She's made huge, tremendous changes, strides in her health. Second area, money. She was in a foreign country with no support system, no money, and she is now the proud owner of 2 thriving businesses in an environment like COVID-19. Third thing, relationships. Don't we all have relationship problems? Well, she mastered other toxic, broken relationships, and she's on her way now to experiencing the best relationships of her life. Guys and girls, I'm super happy to introduce to you today my guest, Regina. Hello, Regina, and welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's the middle of the night here in New Zealand. So the day is over, but my night is really good. Thank you.
All right. So, Regina, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, First, thank you so much, Yahya, for that beautiful introduction. I'm really touched. This is really special to me. I'm a business owner. I'm a mother of three, a single mother of three. I live in Auckland, New Zealand. I run two separate businesses and I have quite a busy life. And that's about me.
Okay, cool. So, Regina, I mean, we know that you've had tremendous, crazy amounts of success. I am super, super proud of you. But let's go back. Let's reverse, right? Let's take a step back a couple of months ago, right? So, what were, in your words, the problems that you were facing prior to joining my program?
Here we have been friends for a bit and now have a client and coach relationship. And so you know a lot about me, but obviously nobody else does. And so, as you know, I'm a type A personality person. I have always strived for success and I've always managed to achieve that. But 5 years ago, I found myself in a position where I had ended my marriage. I was left to live together and raise my three children, who were at the time quite small. And then the circumstances were very hard, where I had started a new business, ended a corporate career. I was in a financial disaster at the time. And by the time we had met, me and you, online, of course, I had already pulled myself together, built a new business, raised my children well, made balance between home, business, and family life. But I was completely burned out. I was completely spiritually, physically, emotionally, I was crumbling inside. I looked really well put together on the outside, as most of us can keep appearances for quite a considerable amount of time. But on the inside, I could no longer cope. I was cortisol driven. I had constant anxiety about life. I had panic attacks. I was exhausted. I couldn't sleep. I was paranoid and really, really struggling to make it through the day.
So that's very true for most of us, right? The most well put together of us invariably are the ones who have the biggest and the most amount of challenges, right? Just because the world doesn't see it does not mean that they don't exist. So you were in a place like that. Now, what made you specifically join my program over all the other offerings in the market?
I wasn't looking to find a personal coach at the time when I encountered you. I had already done counseling. I have done a lot of spiritual work. I have exercised. I have diet. I have adjusted my medication, whatever was required, but nothing was really paying off. So when I met you, I didn't understand the benefits of personal coaching. But as we started working and as I began to experience your input as far as my problems were concerned, I realized that the small little changes that you encouraged me to do had huge payoffs. So it dawned on me that you are the right person for me to trust with going through this revamping of my life. And so that's how we started working.
Okay. And now, what made this program so effective?
It was very simple. It is just really simple. I'm a stubborn human being. I don't like being advised. I had already exhausted myself flexing every muscle that I could flex, in order to achieve the success I was achieving. So I wasn't looking for someone to tell me how I should fatigue myself some more. And you were offering just the opposite. So I actually had to scale back from my hardcore routine and take little tips from you, which were very, very put in very beautiful and perfect sequence. And once I applied them, the outcomes were instant. I had results straight away, and that strengthened my belief that you know what I need in order to get better. And so that's how the program worked. It was just very methodical, very simple. It didn't go against my grain. It didn't cut into my lifestyle. It didn't require for me to do something more, just the opposite. It required for me to do something less. So that's why it worked for me, because it was everything nothing else gave me.
I get it. I totally get it. It's usually with all type A personalities, because I'm a type A myself, we usually have to be taught to hold back, to rein back, because we're pushing, 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 striving hard, right? So now that you've
That's right.
right? So now, as a result of implementing the program, can you share some of the outcomes that you've experienced?
There are many. And I will start with the first ones, because a lot of people need to look at what they can experience at the very beginning of the program. And most of the people you work with, they don't have to go through more than a week in order to get the results that they're looking for. So straight away, my cortisol levels have reduced. I have tried for years to reduce my cortisol levels. The doctors have told me that they have to help me reduce it. The only way for me to reduce cortisol levels was medication. I wasn't willing to go that route. And within the first week itself, my cortisol levels were down. That means that my metabolic rate was up. I could lose the weight without making any efforts. I could stop dieting. I slept well straight away. My mental clarity was back. I began to take much better decisions straight away. I began to view people around me in a different light straight away too. I retracted from arguments, I retracted from toxicity, and all the relationships that were there in my life began giving instead of resisting. So that was the first change. And then if I talk about physical change, I mean, from health point of view, I just want to give you a little background about my health issues. When I started this program, I have no thyroid, so I have no natural metabolic rate. I have to take medication for that. And that makes it enormously hard for someone like myself to actually lose weight. I'm not obese, lucky for me. However, I have a lot of expectations for myself. And I'm in an industry where, the visual matters. So, I mean, number one, I work for fun, work out for fun. That's never happened to me before. My workouts pay off because I don't struggle with cortisol. My muscles are not fatigued because I don't struggle with cortisol. I don't overwork out because I have no need to overwork out. I don't weigh myself because I'm losing weight. I can see that through how compact my body is getting. I don't count my calories. That is huge. For me, in terms of physical changes, the level of my sleep, the quality of my skin, the quality of my exercise, the quality of my day, it's fantastic. I feel 25. I do not feel any burden of my age. From relationship point of view, I mean, I had decided that I'll live alone forever. So, but now I'm in the vortex of feeling so well and so healthy and so vibrant that there is constant buzz around me. And I'm finally entertaining thoughts of being in another relationship, in another marriage, in another, putting myself out there, giving my heart out. It's not hard for me, or I don't have resistance to that anymore. The most fantastic changes have happened with my ex-husband, who is, for years, we have had a toxic relationship that we had to struggle with. And now he's just delivering on all fronts. He is the ex-husband I want him to be. And this is not because he had to go for counseling with me or he had to, do something special. I didn't have to give him a talk. He just wants to be that person now. He wants to, and he's being consistent with it. And this is amazing. I think most people who deal with ex-spouses would probably love that. And this is what I'm getting. And for the sake of my children, of course. I don't have to go out of my way to convince people about anything. They want to do things for me. They walk all the way to do things for me. We're often told that we have to go at least half the way, especially as women. We're told we have to walk a long way to convince someone, anyone, to give us a chance, to trust us, to believe in us, to accept that we can bring success to a company, to a family, to a business. I don't have to do this anymore. The people I want, they walk to me. I don't have to spend myself excessively in order to convince them how worthy I am. Yeah. They come with the conviction that I'm worthy. They wonder if they're worthy.
That's beautiful. It's how I say, right? When the moment we change our energy, the way people start responding to us, the way other people, the way life, the way circumstances, everything starts responding differently. You've been experiencing it now for quite a while now. I know you've created huge changes in your health, mashallah, in your relationships and in your business as well. Right? In a time where everyone is being hurt, everyone thinks their businesses are being hurt, you are, mashallah, you're thriving, right? It's amazing. Now, what we've been discussing are the outcomes. How have these outcomes changed your life?
I'm just the person I always knew I could be, but I never believed that I can be. I just never believed that there would be a moment in time when I will finally experience that bliss which I experience at this point. I can't describe the changes. I mean, with everything that I've said so far, I'm a person who developed a business during lockdown. The moment lockdown finished in New Zealand for a tiny bit, I was ready to plug in. There were people who wanted to work with me. There were clients who wanted to buy. So my life has changed because I work a lot less. I work a lot less. I make a lot less of effort and I produce great results. I'm the person who ended lockdown with the decision to buy a new luxury car.
Wow.
And that car. At the end, when everyone's counting their pennies to pay their mortgage. So that is a change. That is definitely a change. And just to mention here, I think that a lot of people say, oh, so you hit a gold mine and your business is now working and now you're thinking of expanding, buying luxury cars, etc. No, that's not how it worked for me. As a Muslim, I believe risk comes from everywhere, from a lot of places, and you have to trust Allah to where the risk is going to come from. And it truly, for myself, that's how it's worked out. Everything that has been given to me at this point, everything that I've attracted, it's not an attraction from my business or from the established relationships I have. It's just a unique combination of, some people say luck, I would say manifestation.
So that was the interview, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it meaningful. And quite frankly, I hope you found it inspirational, because if somebody like that can do it, anybody can do it. So with that said, leave a comment down below and let me know what was the most important and inspirational thing you found in the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.